Right, welcome back, guys. Leg day today going down. I've got my business partner from Nitro, Tom, here. We are going to go over the best leg press ever made. Now, before we get stuck in the video, please hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit like. I will be doing monthly Q&As as well on the channel, so any questions you have, you may pop them on the video when I actually do the Q&A and I will get them covered. Now, this leg press has been in my rotation since the show and even before the show, and to be honest, I've put it through a lot of testing, and to be honest, I really think we've got it nailed down. Now, with how versatile it is and the adjustments that you can make on this, you can literally make every single individual fit this actual machine. Whereas in the other pieces that we actually have from various other brands, we often have to change the machine to make the individual fit. Whereas this, because it's so versatile, there's so much things you can actually adjust. It allows you to really hit the right spot from every single angle. So, Tom, please go over some points to really show the people as to how versatile it actually is and what we can actually do for it.
So I think you nailed it with the adjustment. That's the main thing we wanted to achieve. So the amount of adjustment in this is unreal. We've got the shoulder pads, which obviously adjust in height and width to allow you to lock in. You've got a back pad angle that adjusts to get you the right position. We've got the sliding band pegs. So one thing with a lot of other machines, these are bolted on, becomes a trip hazard. If you don't want to use them, you just simply slide them out of the way. Foot plate, again, top half is adjustable, and then bump stops, again, adjustable. So you've got that safety stop, so you can really push it. But that's what we wanted to achieve is
the seat adjustments as well. The seat and pad adjustments are incredible.
So going through the features of the Pro Series leg press, top to bottom. So first thing we'll see, we've got the reverse band peg. Allows you to manipulate the resistance profile. We've got the two loading horns, which means you can get a serious amount of weight on this and you're never gonna overload it. Also got the benefit of the weight storage, meaning all the weights can be nice and tidily put away. Moving to the foot plate, we've got this oversized foot plate so that it works suitable for every individual. It's also got adjustment in the angle, meaning you can really make it suit yourself. Safety wise, we've got the adjustable bump stops. Now these go through a wide range, and again, allows you to really push the weight, push the load, knowing that if you are going to fail, you're going to fail in a safe position. Locking arms, we've got 3 height positions, 3 start positions. That again allows it to be used by a wide range of individuals, people of different heights. Moving on to the main piece of the machine, we've got the adjustment in the seat. So we've not only got angle adjustment over 4 positions, we've got shoulder pads which allow you to lock in. These are height and width adjustable, meaning again it can suit every individual, short or tall. You can get those shoulder pads right against your shoulders, lock in and really drive the foot plate. Final feature of the machine is the banding pegs. Now we've designed these to slide in and out because you don't want them out so you can trip over. If you're not using them, you can just slide them out the way. That allows you then to band from there to the weight horn and again manipulate that resistance profile.
Well, that's a warm-up done. Now, those of you asking what specific warm-ups do I do? For every single session, it is always something that's relevant and it's something that's going to contribute to how effective my sessions are. The first thing I do for every single session, not just leg day, is a plank. 2 sets of 1 minute and 10 seconds. That generally gives me a little bit of blood flow and it forces me into a great position to keep a strong brace. Now, directly trained TVA, and giving me a couple of minutes to get a good warm up and prime myself ready for work ahead of me. Exercise number 2 is rear foot elevated split squat. 2 sets of 10 reps on each leg, and then I finish off on walking lunges, 20 reps total, taking my time and making sure that I get deep into knee flexion and go for each and every single rep with as much accuracy as possible, really getting a bit of blood flow into both my glutes and quads and getting some knee flexion, preparing myself ready to gain full range across compound work. Now, generally this takes me about 5 minutes, so it's something that's short, quick, sweet, and productive, and doesn't take away from the session. That's how you should warm up. Right now. Okay, so since we actually filmed our last leg day, I have changed the structure of my leg days. So, new leg days are as follows. 4 sets of hamstring curls. 1 session we'll have the seated, second session we'll have the lying hamstring curl. 2 sets of leg extension. 1 session is prime, 1 session it's side backs. 2 sets of leg press today, 2 sets of pendulum squat, 1 set of dumbbell RDL, and 1 set of split squat. Then we'll finish off on 2 sets of calves, and that is all she wrote. The main reason for the change is slightly reducing training volume, reducing the amount of exercises, and still having enough volume to keep me progressing. Now I'm getting stronger. So training should never ever be set. You should be reactive with the changes that you make in order to keep productivity going across the sessions as a whole. Never ever just be one dimensional. You have to have an open mind and pivot in order to be able to make more progress, not less. Like that. 2 to 3 warm-up sets, and then it's game time. So here, we'll have 4 working sets. Main reason for that is I want the bulk of my training volume for my hamstrings to be done initially, because I am still trying to prioritize my hamstrings. And then I'll finish off on glutes and hamstrings later in the session with the RDL and the split squat. So it all works together in synergy. And exercise selection complements each exercise in the session, but it also complements the second session as well, which is key. So a little bit of concoction here. We've got 30 grams of pumice fuel, pina colada, and we've got 5 grams of blue sugar pumpage. The taste is incredible, but also I do like a little bit of pumpage in the intra, just because of the ingredients it has. I feel like I almost get a much better pump sustained during the session, which is key. Although pump is not that important. I think when you've got a crazy pump going on all the time, it's very hard not to be accurate on the actual muscle you're trying to train. So reap the rewards from that. The beauty of warm-up work that I did earlier, because it's exercises that allow me to get into extreme ranges, and an exercise that's great for my bracing, it means I actually take less warm-up sets on my isolation exercises, like the lying hamstring curl and the leg extension, meaning that the session duration is shorter, but also I don't waste as much energy building up to my top working weight, which is key. The whole point of your warm-ups is to take you to your working weights, where you can attack your sets with all intensity with as little fatigue as possible whilst building up towards it, so that you've got all your energy saved for the sets that actually count and matter, which is your working sets. Don't waste energy, stay productive, and get massive like that. Okay, so the next set, which will be my third set, 2 warm-up sets also count. If it feels good, I'm going to work. If it doesn't, it will be my final warm-up set. So generally, that's how I like to gauge more warm-up sets, especially in isolation work. Compound work, when I work with heavier loads, that's where the game changes a little bit more. And even with exception to leg extension, I do change how I warm up on those a little bit as well, because the loading does get heavy on those too. So it all depends on exercise, really, as to how I approach the warm sets. It will vary depending on if it's a compound exercise or an isolation exercise. perform 9 reps with 140 pounds. So second set now, I'm going to drop down to 130 and aim to try and get 9 to 10 reps. Then I will base my third set working weight off the back of what I actually hit my second set, and so on. So generally a rep range here, 8 to 12 repetitions, making sure that I really nail the contraction, spend some time there, own the reps across both end ranges. No momentum, controlled power is key for all your repetitions, always. When you're trying to build muscle, get the most out of your reps. Don't be slow. Be powerful with control. That's the key to unlocking gains. Right, now, one thing I have realised over years of training is protecting my energy, but also protecting my time in the gym. Your time in the gym is special. For me, it is anyway. So when I train, there is absolutely nothing that's distracting me. There's nothing else that I focus on. My phones are put away. There's no work. The world gets completely shut off. For the 2 hours that I train, that is my time. That is my time only to enjoy something that means so much to me. Now, when I see people get distracted, playing on their phones, scrolling Instagram, it takes away from your training, and it takes away from how special it actually is. Now, avoiding any distractions for me personally has actually led to training being so much more enjoyable, but I also have much more energy whilst I train. My focus is so much greater as well, with less stimulants, so it's always a win. No. So, exactly the same as I did on line hamstring curl. Next set will be a deciding factor. I may work, I may do a last warm up, depends on how I feel. So, we shall see. Fuck me. I think the shorts are getting a little bit tight, which is always a good sign when your legs are tremendously pumped. So, happy days. Oh, I've got to be able to quad shake. Love it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ready to go. Up. Yeah, I'm gonna go 8.5 today. work starts now, big man. The work starts now. Head in the fucking game. This is what we do. Here. Come on then. Now, the pendulum is by far the most quad dominant of compound exercises you can do for your legs. So if you are trying to bring up your quads in particular, pendulum should be a staple within your exercise selection. Now, if you don't have pendulum available, a Smith machine squat with heel elevation comes pretty close, as long as you keep upright and lead with the knees. Now, the reason why I am such a huge fan of the pendulum is because if you set it up correctly, you will be able to get a tremendous amount of knee flexion, more so than you will in a hack squat or a normal squat pattern. So for me, it is the king of quad compound exercises. Now, key points on setting up the pendulum. When you set yourself up, you want to have your back flat against the pads. Do not extend your pelvis back. You want to keep your pelvis in neutral position so that your hips can actually travel forward as you are getting into your deep knee flexion. If you tilt your pelvis back, you're trying to push your hips back, whereas on a pendulum, essentially we want to try and push your hips forward in order to get more knee flexion. So, feet as low as you can get them, whilst maintaining full pressure of the foot with the platform, with the contact point of your big toe, heel, inside and outside of your foot. Then, contract your quads, maintain the contraction as you come down and in, full knee flexion, pause in a stretch, and then drive up. Keep your core braced and maintain a neutral spine all the way through. There it goes. Come on. Beautiful. Go me. Nothing. I want to keep rep ranges now on this 8 to 10 so that I can even control the tempo even more. So my rep range for compound work, the reason why I prefer 8 to 12 repetitions as a reference point is because the amount of time that the set actually takes is around a minute when we actually aim for 8 to 10 reps, whilst controlling every single rep. So when you put that into context, trying to do more repetitions, the biggest limitation is then going to be your bracing and the actual gas tank. Whereas my fitness level is already great, however, it's unrealistic for someone to be able to go for longer than a minute and a half and still be able to keep good execution. So your rep range should be dictated by the exercise, the load you're using, and your ability to brace and stay locked into a set whilst maintaining good execution. Right now, again, my goal within any exercise is not just getting a set number of reps. My goal is to stay locked into the set for as long as possible and make every single rep as challenging as possible. That's ultimately the key. I never approach exercises thinking that I need to get a certain number of reps and chase that number. Instead, I simply chase quality in repetitions. Quality equals quantity in muscle mass. Right now. Bodybuilders, not powerlifters. Exactly. Bodybuilding, not powerlifting, guys. That doesn't mean try like a pussy though. I want you to pay attention to my first rep and my last rep. The only difference between my first repetition and my last repetition is the rep pace. My first rep moves a lot easier, and on the concentric portion of the rep, it moves a lot faster. My last rep is a mirror image of a first rep, however, it moves a lot slower. I purposely control the eccentric even more, and then the concentric, although I am giving me all out power into that rep, into that portion of the rep, it moves a lot slower in comparison to the first rep. Now that is when you reach true failure points. And that's the biggest difference between staying locked into a set and training to true mechanical failure. We don't adjust the execution to get more reps. Adjust the execution just makes the reps easier, not better. We'll chase better, always. Right guys, so we're just about to get strapped in. Now, I want to touch quite an important topic, which is lifting straps. If you are a bodybuilder and you are looking to actually train your muscle, whether it's your back or whether it is an RDL exercise when you're trying to train your lower body, lifting straps are essential. Ultimately, your grip strength is never going to surpass your strength you have in your hamstrings and glutes, or the strength you have in your entire back. So if you are not using lifting straps, you are leaving a lot on the table when it comes to actually trying to build muscle. So if your goal is to actually trying to get big, not just developing grip strength with your forearms, lifting straps in my opinion are essential. Now my favourites are leather, lifting straps and hard body. I do like to mix and match. We've got pink, we've got tan. Use my code Kuba to get yours. Get your gains on. Train your muscle, not your grip. You're not a powerlifter. You're trying to get big. Don't leave gains on the table through trying to train your grip. Train your muscle instead. Right, yeah. Now, why do I opt to do RDLs at the end of the session? It's a bit simple. Reducing load exposure. When I go into a movement like this, that generally does generate a lot of fatigue, it will force me to use a little bit less loading. However, at this point in the session, I'm already quite fatigued. So the stimulus that I'll get from these is arguably going to be enough for what I need at this point in the session, without driving fatigue so high that I cannot recover from it and do this again in 5 days. So at the moment, I've got one single set of RDLs every 5 days, which the frequency of that is pretty damn good. So with that in mind, I need to tread carefully here between what I can actually do versus what I can recover from, because ultimately, it doesn't matter what you can do. The only thing that matters is what you can actually recover from and progress over time. Right now. No warm-up sets on calves. Why? They are already torched from leg press and pendulum. Now, if you really nail your position on both leg press and the pendulum, your calves will be screaming, trust me. So, 2 working sets. All that's needed for me. We get 2 hard working sets. Just because it's the last exercise of the day doesn't mean back off. In fact, my attitude For the last exercise, it's to always finish strong. The intensity, focus remains the same as it did from exercise number 1 to exercise number 6, no matter what, always. Now, what really helps, like I mentioned earlier, no distractions, focus on the task at hand, nothing else. Get in the zone. When I'm in here, the only thing that matters is me, my logbook, and my weights, that's it. For me.